This is true of, there are all kinds of services that we don't tax where we could examine doing so. We have special tax breaks for certain companies and industries. For example, if you buy a timeshare in a jet aircraft, there's a cap on how much sales tax is paid. So if you spend a couple of $100,000 buying an 1/8 share in a jet aircraft so you have X many hours a month that you can fly to wherever, you're only going to pay $100 in sales tax, even if you might have paid $10,000 under the state sales tax without that cap. So some of these kinds of exemptions and credits are things that are not good policy and that are reducing the amount of revenue that the state receives, and where many other states are taking steps to say cap tax credits, or to say, look, even if these are things that are good, that we need in good times, if we're going to look at every line item in the budget, we need to look also at these tax expenditures which are go into the state tax code and are there permanently. You know, unlike when Senator Miller and his colleagues look at every line item, and you may not like everything that they decide on what they spend for any particular item, at least it's there. You can go down, you can testify, you can say, you know, what should we spend on K-12 education or anything in the budget? Well, the tax expenditures are never reviewed that way. And so that deserves a review, and we believe that there's a significant amount of revenue that we should get by examining that, perhaps capping some of the credits, reducing some others, or eliminating them if they're not serving a purpose. So we believe that we should look at the revenue side, not just at the spending side. We understand that there are going to be serious cuts made and that these are going to be very hurtful to people, and we think that at the same time we need to see the revenue side addressed. So I guess, I don't know, should both of us stay up here to answer questions, or? I should say I have a one-page handout that if people want to look kind of summarizes a lot of what I just said that I can pass around. So, okay, it's right on the seat there. No, well, that's yours. That's her.
That's my notes. You can pass around my notes, but they won't get you that far. Questions? Don't want to shoot the message.
I do business regularly in Indiana, and they claim, the press says that they have a budget surplus. What are they doing different in Indiana on their spending and tax side versus Ohio? I mean, comparing us to North Dakota is, or South Dakota isn't really a good comparison. I mean, Indiana's got big cities, they got farms, they got a lot of medium-sized cities, mixed manufacturing.
Well, Indiana has taken some steps. They have raised taxes in Indiana. I can't remember all of the specifics, but they've raised both the income and the sales tax in Indiana over the past several years. Now, I know they've also capped property taxes, so I couldn't tell you how much revenue has been generated that way. But Indiana did not take a cuts-only approach. They sold their toll road as well, which generated a lot of revenue, I know, at least for their transportation budget. So, I mean, I think that Indiana, while I'm not going to recommend we do what Indiana did, I think that they haven't taken a cuts-only approach in being able to maintain a position where they have, you know, a better financial position than we do. I don't know, maybe you have. I would just, I don't know if this is putting him on a spot a little bit, but I don't know if Senator Miller wants to give us his views, having, you know, obviously a more direct view of what's gone on there. If that, I mean, if you want, that's fine, but maybe you want to say from your perspective what you think might happen or has happened that would be.
Thank you. I think that Emily and Zach gave a very comprehensive and good picture of the situation, and it is very serious, and it is a combination of the economy plus these policy changes that were made, particularly in 2005, and a consistent policy that we've seen in the legislature for the past 10 years or so, that we're willing to chip away here and chip away there and take things off the tax base, but almost never is anything added. So that's a very serious problem. The one other thing that I would add that I think not enough has been said about, and this maybe is a little more of a factor on the county side than the municipal side, is the fact of how heavily dependent we are on the state for human services. And I don't think the hit that we're going to take is going to be just a matter of reducing things like the local government fund or the TPP replacement, important as those things are. But I think also the reduction in basic human services programs, which is then going to be passed down to the local level, I think is going to have some very serious impacts. And in terms of strategy, I think that only a well-organized community-wide effort with a well-defined strategy and a real working together to get across what the true impact of these changes would be has any chance of success. And I don't think that we can prevent ourselves from being hurt in this next state budget, but I think there's degrees of hurt, and it would be well worth the effort to work for something on the lower end of the possible range, because it's going to be a very difficult time. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank our speakers for joining us today. The board felt this was a very important subject that we need to get our hands around and get an understanding of the potential. So we probably will be doing a lot of lobbying. Again, as this is the last forum that I'll be serving as president, it's really been a joy being a part of this. I will be the past president. I can have that even though I'm not a council member. And I do want to thank the county council members, Dale, and Purnell, and Dave Greenspan, that joined us today. We're moving right along with transition meetings and planning to bring this exciting new government. So thank you very much. Our next meeting will be in February, and we hope you have a great holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and see you next year. Thank you very much.